My sister mocked me at Thanksgiving because I was the family failure until I pulled out one envelope and announced what her husband had been hiding for years. The whole table went quiet when I walked in 20 minutes late. My sister Vanessa looked up from her wine glass with that smile she'd perfected since childhood, the one that said she was about to draw blood. "Look who finally showed up," she announced. "I told everyone you probably wouldn't come. Failures don't like being reminded of what success looks like." She gestured around at her husband Kevin's new Rolex, their matching designer outfits, the way my parents beamed at them like they'd raised royalty. I sat down at the only empty seat, the one at the corner, practically in the hallway. My mother didn't even look at me. Kevin carved the turkey like he owned the house, which, according to Vanessa, he basically did since he'd been helping my parents with their finances after Dad's stroke last year. "So, Daniel," Kevin said without looking up, "still doing that warehouse thing?" I told him I'd been promoted to floor supervisor. Vanessa snorted. "Floor supervisor. Wow, you must be so proud." My cousin laughed. My aunt looked away. Nobody defended me. They never did. I'd been the family disappointment since I dropped out of college 15 years ago. Didn't matter that I'd been working 60-hour weeks. Didn't matter that I'd been the one driving Dad to physical therapy 3 times a week while Vanessa posted vacation photos from Cabo. The meal continued, and so did the comments. Vanessa mentioned her new beach house. Kevin talked about his investment portfolio. My mother asked when I was going to get serious about life like my sister had. Then Vanessa leaned forward with a glass of champagne and said the thing that made my blood turn cold. "You know what's sad? Grandma left us both the same inheritance. I turned mine into a real estate empire. Daniel probably spent his on lottery tickets." The table laughed. "But here's the thing. I never received my inheritance. The lawyer told me 3 years ago that Grandma's estate had been redistributed due to outstanding debts. I believed him because I trusted family. That was my first mistake. 6 months ago, I hired a private investigator. Cost me $8,000 I didn't have. I picked up extra shifts, sold my truck, ate ramen for months, but what he found was worth every penny. The manila envelope had been sitting in my glove compartment since October. I'd been waiting for the right moment, watching Kevin's smug face as he accepted praise for being such a generous provider to my parents, watching Vanessa post about her self-made success. The investigator found bank records, wire transfers, a paper trail that went back 4 years. Kevin hadn't just stolen my inheritance. He'd been systematically draining my parents' retirement accounts and funneling the money into offshore holdings. The documents showed everything, every transaction, every forged signature, every lie. I pulled the envelope from inside my jacket. Vanessa rolled her eyes. "What is that, your resume? Finally applying for a real job?" I didn't answer. I walked to the head of the table where my father sat and placed the envelope in front of him. "Dad, I need you to look at this." Kevin's face changed, just slightly, just enough. My father opened it with shaking hands. The first page was a bank statement from his retirement account, the one Kevin had helped him manage. My father's face went gray. "What is this?" He looked at Kevin. "There's supposed to be $400,000 in here." Kevin stood up fast. His chair hit the wall. "Daniel, I don't know what you think you're doing, but this is inappropriate." I kept my voice steady. "Page 3, Dad. That's the wire transfer to a Cayman Islands account. Page 5 is the forged power of attorney. Page 8 is Kevin's name on the receiving account." The room exploded. My mother started crying. My aunt grabbed the documents and started reading out loud. Vanessa screamed that I was lying, that I was jealous, that I'd fabricated everything. Then she grabbed her phone to call their lawyer. That's when I played my final card. "Check page 12, Vanessa." She flipped to it with trembling hands. Her face crumpled. It was a photo. Kevin and a woman I didn't recognize. 2 small children. A house in Nevada. The investigator had found Kevin's other family. The one he'd been supporting with my parents' money, with my inheritance. With every dollar he'd smiled and stolen while we all thanked him for being so generous. Kevin made it halfway to the door before my uncle blocked him. My father was on the phone with the police. Vanessa collapsed into a chair, staring at the photo of her husband's other life. The kids were young, maybe 4 and 6. He'd been lying to everyone for years. My mother looked at me for the first time all night. Really looked at me. "Daniel," she whispered, "how did you know?" I thought about all the Thanksgivings I'd spent at the corner table. All the jokes about being a failure. All the times I'd driven Dad to therapy while Kevin played golf. I just shrugged. Someone had to pay attention. Kevin was arrested 3 days later on 12 counts of wire fraud and elder financial abuse. The forensic accountants found over $600,000 in stolen assets. Vanessa filed for divorce before Christmas and moved back in with my parents. I got my inheritance back, plus restitution. Dad gave me Kevin's seat at the table.